How do you think the Biden era inflation we're about to experience again will affect the markets and crypto this year? Look, you, you guys want to blame presidents. If you want to blame presidents, Trump allowed the QE the first term, okay, which caused a ton of inflation during Biden's term. I I don't care. I don't get into politics. I'm not right or left. I'm not Democratic or Republican. I think it's all just two wings on the same bird to be able to accomplish objectives here, okay? The inflation that we're experiencing in this economy right now is to front run the deflationary collapse that's coming. They know that when they implement blockchain technology and AI and these things converge, the deflationary pressures of that are going to be far beyond anything that we've ever seen for technological advancement. Over the past 20, 25 years, technology is about 7 to 9% deflationary each year. Okay, so if things were advancing on the technology side, you would assume that production costs would be coming down. And they are. However, the Fed's mandate is to keep us at a 2% inflation rate and hold jobs in a certain area. So they print more money, M2 money supply expands exponentially when we have advancements in technology to be able to offset the deflationary pressures that causes in our economy and keep or maintain that 2% inflation rate. That money tends to make its way into people's hands that have the highest earning power, and they tend to invest it in assets to be able to maintain or hold that purchasing power of whenever they received that capital. That's why, about 10% of people in the US actually own stocks on the stock market. It's very few that directly own stocks. Most people own stocks through their 401k or their IRA from their employer. So all that being said, I think that they're doing this on purpose. I don't think it's one side or the other. I think that they know the economists that sit on these calls, like Jim Rickards and many others, have seen this coming from a mile away. They know that liquidity is going to get sucked out of markets and there's going to be a repricing. And in order to be able to mitigate that risk or reduce the volatility or the issue as much as they can, they're front running that with as much inflation as they can bear up until that event happens, because it will offset some of the deflationary collapse that we would have experienced otherwise. Like, this is, again, like high level macroeconomics. It's not just normal stuff. And again, like, the president doesn't make these decisions. Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Now, can Trump affect some things? For sure. It's obvious that he can through the tweets and other things that he's doing. Is that a good thing? I don't know. His family's able to trade the markets and have some insider trading and knowledge before he's putting that information out there. Are they benefiting from that? Probably. Have others done the same thing? Did Biden give contracts to people in his family for government projects and things? Absolutely. There's corruption across the board on this stuff. It's not like it's one side or the other. Okay, so all that being said, I think that this is a coordinated effort to reprice assets globally when they know that the reverse carry trade is going to unwind, and they're juicing M2 because the velocity of money is so low, and they know that's going to pick up on the other side of the implementation of distributed ledger technology. And all that being positioned correctly, if you had actuaries or quants that could run these numbers and make sure that you're within the means that you need to be based on dynamic variables, then you could actually coordinate a soft landing. I know that's difficult to believe, but I do think everything that's happening right now, like a lot of people are like, oh, they're stupid, they don't have a plan. I think this has been planned for decades. Meticulously planned for decades. I don't know how else to catalog the coincidences in my mind other than it being planned meticulously for decades. If you're paying attention, it seems very orchestrated. So anyway, again, I'm pretty down the middle of the aisle on stuff, and I don't think one side of the aisle actually makes decisions over the other. I think it's all a dog and pony show to get you guys riled up and at each other's throats and get whatever objectives need to get done across the line based on public perception.